Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on this Nissan Hardbody, also known as the D21. And if you follow me since the beginning, you probably know that about 4 or 5 years ago I made a custom where I slammed one of these, and it came out pretty nice. Back then I used to sell my customs, so that one I sold it, and I believe it went to somewhere in Canada. So if you're the guy that bought that custom, leave a comment below. Now this thing, if you watch my previous video, my flea market haul, I got that for 50 cents at a flea market. This pickup truck should have a big engine in the back, and obviously it's not there, but we don't need it. It should be simpler this time around because I should have the template for the custom chassis. So let's drill this apart and go straight to paint remover. Alright guys, so here it is, all taken apart. You can see the axles are bent like an S. So this part we're not going to use. You can see the front grille is part of the interiors. We're going to have to cut this part out. The roll bar here, or I don't know how you want to call it. And I need to tap the holes, and we need to cut these pieces of metal here, and most likely I have to cut this one down, and most likely I'm going to drill through the bed here since it already has a hole, and I don't feel like covering that, so I'm just going to create a full cover here for the back. So I'm going to take off the paint first before I do all that, and I'll be back. Alright guys, here it is. Now check out this area where we had all that corrosion. Look at the inside right there. I think it had some over here. Now I was gonna put it in the electro polish system, but I want to try out the Lime Away. Let me zoom out. Lime Away works similarly. Lime Away. So I'm gonna fill this up, and I'm gonna drop the casting for 4 minutes. You don't want to go past 4 minutes because the casting starts getting black. So let me clean this area right here. So I'm gonna dip it in and I'll be back. All right, check it out. I washed it and I cleaned it off with the wire brush using my Dremel. Let's zoom in. And the inside doesn't really matter because, you know, it's gonna be a cover here. But I think it did a pretty good job. So now there is a lot of pitting on this casting. Now the next step is gonna be, I'm gonna cut this off and try to cut a template of the chassis before I do anything else. I'm gonna do that and I'll be back. All right guys, so after searching one of my backup hard drives, I found the project of the Nissan Hardbody, and it turns out that to be able to get a good stance, I have to do away with all this area right here. Basically similar to the Silverado, where they eliminate this area right here to make room for the tucked in wheels. On that last project, I just cut out this area right here, basically cut inside the circle here, but I think it's gonna be easier if I just eliminate the whole thing, since I'm gonna do a cover here. None of that's gonna be seen, and it will make this whole thing stronger again. Reinforce it. For that, I think the easier and cleaner solution, I'm gonna be using my jeweler saw here, but I'm using not a regular saw here. If you can see, this is a circular. See, so I could basically go in any directions, and of course I need room for that, and I don't have a method for recording that part, so I'll be back once that's done. All right guys, check it out. I just got done doing the cut. Of course I still have to clean it, make it somewhat presentable, but I really like how that rounded saw cuts. Very nice and clean. Of course, here's the front. It had some raised area right here. I knocked it down, lowered everything a little bit, make room for the tire. I could go a little deeper, but for now I'm gonna leave it like that. And of course back here I need to, using the Dremel, eat away a little bit and clean up, and I'll be back once I do that. All right guys, I'm back. I don't know, I think it's been over an hour and a half, close to 2 hours. As you can see, I sanded, I think 400, 600, 800, 1000 grit, and then I use this with soapy water instead of just water alone. I use dishwashing fluid or liquid. I feel like the sandpaper doesn't get clogged up as much. It makes it a lot easier. And then I use my micro mesh system, which go all the way up to 12,000 grit. and this is where I'm at. I don't think I could do any better without erasing some of the body lines, so I don't think I go any further. Other than that, next step is gonna be to create the chassis. Get a rolling chassis, and I'm gonna start on that and be back. All right, guys, check it out. It took me close to 10 hours to get to this point, mostly because I did not want to do a chassis like I did on the other one. So I did a tubular. This is a tube, actually a rod. This is a rod which I twisted and turned into the shape of the chassis, and this base plate right here is holding the seats. Now, if I would have changed the setup here, I could have gone lower because I do have the space, but I kind of like it like this. The last one I did was slammed completely. This one I want to do it a little bit different. I'm gonna clean a little bit here of the brass. Now the next step is polish and clean the windshield, dip it in some floor shine, and paint. So I'm gonna do that and I'll be back. All right, guys, check it out. She's all polished and ready for paint. So I'll be back when it's painted. All right, guys, and I'm back. This is the custom chassis that I did for this custom. As you can see, I painted it with acrylic metallic gray paint. I think it's called gunmetal. The reason I took so long to make is the previous one I had done was not like this. It was just a flat piece of brass, which I could have replicated in 5-6 minutes. But I wanted to do something different for this one. Make it look like a real chassis, as you can see here. And it works. And all these bends and all that stuff, I wasn't sure which tires I was gonna use. And of course I did not need all of this, but if I would have used a bigger tire and wheel, then I would not use that piece of brass here, and I could have raised the axle. That way it could have been tucked in more. Same thing in the front. Instead of putting the axle on this side, I could have put it on the inside. It would have made it the wheels tucked in if I would have decided to use a bigger one. But this is the chassis. I like how it turned out. And this is the interior. I used the same paint to give the seats a little bit of color. Painted some details in the front. So here in the front, I used a piece of polystyrene to reinforce this area. And once that was nice and dry, the glue, I cut all this off, so you can see here, all this area. And I had to reinforce the front here with a .032 rod and glue, because once I cut out this area here, the front grille wanted to like bend forward like this. So this is keeping it nice and straight, and everything works like it came from the factory like that. Now the casting. Check it out. Ooh. Can you say black chrome? It's so sad that this casting was not in better shape. I could have I think it has like 5 or 6 coats, If I would have done maybe 2 or 3, you could have seen the better the effect. Let me get another light so you can see it better. All right, check it out. Look at that. Sweet. I'm telling you, it doesn't look as dark as on the video. In real life, you can see that it's a translucent paint. Here in the back, I can't show you now, but I'll show you later, where all the corrosion was. I did have a little bit of trouble here, but I'll show you once I assemble it and I put it back together. And now I gotta wear my gloves so I can put it together. Oh, before I go, let me show you what I used. Duplicolor Shadow. This is for wheels. This kit comes with the black chrome paint and a special clear coat for that. So you know this thing is tough because it's done for wheels, so it's has to be tough to prevent rock chipping and all that stuff. But it does have instructions, but I basically painted like I do all my cars. So now let me put this together and I'll be back. Before that, let me show you the glass. This is how the glass turned out. Just like it's brand new, baby. So I just polished it using turtle wax, and then I dipped it in some Pledge Floor Shine. It's been over 24 hours because you gotta let it dry. So now let me put it together and I'll be back. All right, guys, let's take a look at what we started with. Our 50-cent flea market find Nissan Hardbody D21 pickup. And now the finished product. Ta-da! More lights. There in the back tailgate, you can see it has a spot. So in that area where all the heavy corrosion, didn't really want to take the paint, but considering in the condition, yeah, and on the top border here too, but I'm very satisfied with the result here. This paint, this black chrome paint, is incredible. Definitely gonna do a lot more customs with that paint. Look at that. Let me change the light from this side. Just beautiful. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and hit that little bell so you can get notified of my upcoming videos. And a peace.